Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Sins of the Father. I am your host, Ani I Am, and just wanted to kind of share some things with you as I've been out here kind of camping in the woods for a couple of weeks. It's been a really different experience, to say the least, but it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. You know, I think solitude, self-development, kind of works in congruence with healing. Me being out here, being able to spend time alone, kind of reconvene with nature, so to speak, you know, tap into just the source, you know, ground myself. You know, as cold as it's still been a blessing. You know, from one day it's snowing and the next day now I'm out here with just a sweater on. And it's beautiful. But I wanted to just kind of really tap into the fact of how important it is to go into solitude sometimes when it's when you're trying to heal, when you're trying to go through things, when you're trying to understand things and really get back in tune with yourself, because there's a lot of noise outside. There's a lot of noise there's a lot of noise out here. There's a lot of noise. You know, you constantly feel like you gotta act this way, move this way, be here, be there, answer this person, answer that person. You know, it's like your time is not really your own a lot of times, you know. It's like really you are on somebody else's time and you're on the world's time. Like, and until you get back to really just being in your time, you kind of missing the essence of certain things, if that makes sense, right? You're missing the value of being introspective about who you are, what you stand for, what matters to you, because what you do is you begin to encapsulate what matters to everybody else, because you're kind of moving in that in that energy. Like, you know, you want to satisfy everybody else's ideal of you, everybody else's idea of what it means to be in and a part of the whole of everybody else, right? You want to tap into yourself, man. You have a unique perspective. And I'm not saying that nobody, you know, you guys don't know. I have, you know, I feel like for me, let me talk about for me, because I have a unique perspective. I have unique ideas. I have unique ways of looking at things and analyzing things and being objective and subjective about certain experiences and events that I see. What I've been noticing is that when I am locked into the environment of everybody moving and everybody else's energy, then I'm kind of, in certain aspects, I'm adhering to that energy. I'm focusing on that energy. I'm moving through that energy and not really my own, because, you know, as much as I put my unique spin on it, it's still part of the subjective nature of what it is that I'm dealing with, if that makes sense, right? So what it's been able to do now that I'm out here, I've been able to reflect on so many things that, you know, at this a certain point where obviously I think I'll get to it and I'll be able to kind of talk with you guys about it a little bit more. But for the most part, I've been able to really tap in and just enjoy the experience and enjoy myself, my own company, my own cooking. Yeah, I'm a chef. I try my best. But, you know, just really just, you know, building a fire, walking around, talking, you know, to the creator and asking for clarity on certain things. And I think a lot of us miss that point. Like, what are we clear on? What do we understand? What are we truly aware of? And, you know, in me trying to understand how my past is affecting me, this has been a huge opportunity for me because it's allowed me to sit with myself and just say, well, what is it that's really, how do I say it? What's really bothering you? What's affecting you? What matters to you? What is important? What's not important? What could you give up? What can you not give up? And identifying those things gives you a certain level of power, because when you understand that you don't necessarily need this or that from something or somebody, it changes how you can experience life, how you can experience a situation. So just to give you an example, so I was out here and I was talking and I was walking to myself and I was just talking and thinking to myself and really thinking, and I was just wondering, like, well, what is one of the greatest attributes that a human being can have? And as I'm walking, and I'm looking at the sun, I'm talking, I'm like, man, the sun is kind of just, amazing. We reverence the sun. We look at the sun every day and we know that there would be no life without it, right? So, but in another way I looked at it was, what does the sun do? In a very simplistic way, the sun is constantly giving. I want you to just think about that. The sun is constantly giving. It is giving every day, all day long. It does not stop. It does not, there's no off switch on the sun, right? It's constantly giving off whatever life energy it does to the entire planet, to everything and everyone. It's giving. And yet the sun is never at a point where it needs, or its energy is drained. It's never at a point of want. Just listen and just think about it. It's never at a point of want. It's always in a point of abundance. And what that kind of signaled to me was, the greatest thing that anyone can do is serve. The sun serves us. It serves everything that we have, from the water to the food, to the energy source, to growth. It literally feeds us, and yet never asks for anything in return. But we reverence it. We reverence the sun. We look at it and we say, man, we give true reverence to the sun and all that it is, right? We give reverence to it. We worship it to a degree, and there's certain cultures that do worship it because of its life-giving force. But just for practical purposes, we're just going to say, we look at the sun and we say, the beauty of it, the strength of it, is that it can constantly give. Never does it ever deplete its resource, and it's always something is given back. It's a constant stream of that. And I said, if we were to administer that in our form, right, in our human situation, and we say, well, what if we became givers to, just service people, just serve others? Think about that. If we were to serve others, what would we be full of abundance? What would we need if we truly, and when I say truly, I mean truly served other people? What would we actually need if we served other people? I mean, this is real thing. Like, think about it. What would we need? Would we need to eat? Would we need food? We would never be short of food. You wanna know why? Because the people that we serve would make sure that we never was hungry. The people that we serve would make sure that we were loved. The people that we serve would make sure we were happy, would make sure we were safe, would make sure we were taken care of. What came to me was, again, either you serve a purpose, or either you serve or you don't serve a purpose. Either you serve or you don't serve a purpose, and then there's no need for you to exist any longer. Because if the sun no longer served the planets and our planet, what would be the need for the sun to exist? So if we don't serve, what is our need for existence? If we don't serve somebody. And we can say we serve our children, we serve our church, we serve, God, we serve all these other things, right? But in reality, if we don't, the more we serve, the more abundance we actually have. The more abundance we have by serving others, by serving, the more abundance we have, the more in contact we are with a power, a principle that designates reciprocation. Think about it. If we serve, there's absolutely no way that we don't receive something. If we serve, we receive, even if it's accolades, even if it's a thank you. But that thank you feeds us. It gives us something. It gives us blessings, precious blessings from just its essence of serving. The selflessness of serving. And then we actually, in a way, we get that back to ourselves, because now we feel fulfilled. So we walk around full of abundance of happiness, abundance of worth, of value, because we know what we mean to so many other people. I mean, think about it. So that's what came to me, is like, as I'm out here searching for these answers, and I'm thinking about how, my past and my history. And I thought that, what is it that sustained me from all these years of feeling, stressed or feeling down? It's been what I receive back from others. And the only way I've ever received anything is because I've given. Why would anybody give you? What would be the reciprocal nature of that relationship if you didn't serve another individual? Right? When you think about it, what would be the reciprocal nature? Why would anybody even consider helping you if you weren't serving? If you weren't serving them in some way or another. And I think even in that, so when we talk about, a lot of the negative past experiences that we've had, when we talk about the negative childhood experiences that we've had, we say to ourselves, how do we heal those things? And I think a part of it is giving and serving others and serving those. And that's healing, because I think that we begin to see our value. We begin to work through certain things that we thought we were deprived of. We begin to work through some of the devalued aspects of self, of what we thought, why is somebody treating us this way? Why did this and that happen? Why did I feel so neglected or unwanted? And we begin to work through it and say to ourselves, it doesn't matter why, because if we just serve, the value comes back to us. The son doesn't need to ask why somebody may curse the son. The son doesn't need to ask that. A tree doesn't need to ask that, but the tree serves. It serves its purpose to the ground, to the animals, to the insects, to the air. It just serves. This tree just serves. All these beautiful trees, they just serve. And they stand, and then we reverence them, and we honor them with just by in awe of their power and their strength, of their fortitude, of their adaptability, of all of these attributes that we want to encompass in ourselves. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, honestly. As I sat and I reflected on it, it just made me feel connected. It gave me a feeling of healing, because I felt connected to this principle of giving. So I want us to give of ourselves, and in return, what we get cannot be taken away from by anybody. If we serve, what we get in return cannot be taken away by anybody or anything, because it belongs to us by the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity. If you give certain things, it's just commanded that you get certain things back. You know? And that was like a real epiphany for me. You know, and I'm not saying nothing like no holy grail type, you know. It was just a great opening for me. Like I really understood. Let me say that. I really understood at that moment the value. I really did. I understood the value. I understood the value of giving. And I thought about, you know, well, giving to my children. We don't need to look for a return on that giving, right? We just give. Lovingly, abundantly, unremittingly, without any desire to receive anything back. And when we do that, I think because there is a principle that's in play, we automatically receive tenfold what we've given out. If we do it genuinely. Now, if we're looking for something, then that's when we become up short, because we have an expectation of what we're looking for. And if that person doesn't meet the expectation, then therefore, obviously at that point, then we're angry, or we feel like we were used, or we weren't given back, or the person didn't reciprocate. But if we don't have an expectation of reciprocation and we give out of love, then the reward becomes limitless. It's endless. It's an endless reward of reciprocated love and appreciation that we receive, even if it's never uttered as a word. We receive it based on the movement of what we see and what we feel. It's really hard to be unkind to the kind, right? If you're kind to someone, it's really hard. Like a person really has to be going through something to just really not be kind to you when you're kind, if that makes sense. I apologize. I'm just trying. It's getting a little chilly. The sun might be shifting a little bit, but it's still giving, and I'm thankful for it. And I mean that. I'm thankful for it. The more I sat and I looked, and I sat out in the sun the other day, and I just looked at it. I watched the sun actually set, and I just thought about how beautiful and giving the sun is. And we are all, in essence, many suns. Radiant, beautiful, warm, right? Constantly giving off a force, an energy, a vibe. And in that, we gotta know that life will reciprocate that good energy. We gotta know that people, the world, our environment will give and reciprocate that energy, whether it wants to or not. And that part will depend on our understanding. That part will depend on our understanding, because our perspective is going to matter in that point. Because if our perspective says that it should be this because we gave that, then we don't receive the blessing the same way. But if our perspective is, hey, whatever comes back to me, I know that I'm going to use it for good. So even this challenge that comes back to me, I'm going to find a lesson and a blessing in that challenge. I'm going to find love in that challenge. I'm going to find love for myself, for my abilities. I'm going to find love for my own abilities in that challenge. And that's a heavy one, you know, for me. I always say, this journey that I'm on with you guys is part of my own healing. I'm not doing this to just teach or to try to pass on a bunch of wisdom that, I'm gaining. I'm passing on this wisdom as I'm learning. I am learning this with you as we go through this together. So, as always, I say, I appreciate everyone that taps in. I thank you for your patronage. I thank you for viewing the channel. I thank you for your comments. Man, I love your comments. I thank you for any type of support in this way, because again, my sharing, my service is my reward, and it guarantees my abundance. My service guarantees my abundance, and when I can no longer serve, then I don't serve a purpose. When I can no longer serve, I don't serve a purpose, and therefore, what is the purpose of me existing? What is the purpose of me existing? My only purpose on this earth is to serve humanity. Everybody's purpose on this earth is to serve someone else, because no man could not serve anyone and have an existence here. And it's not just about serving yourself. Something to really think about, something to contemplate. Something to contemplate, because it matters. It really does. It matters. It matters that we have a deeper sense of purpose in this lifetime, because if we don't, then we fall short of the glory of the Most High. And we fall short of ourselves, because innately we want to serve. Innately, just remember, trying to make your parents laugh, trying to make your parents happy, trying to make your kid laugh, trying to make your child laugh by hugging and kissing them, goo gaga and all this other stuff, right? We want innately to serve. It's when we be getting selfish and we have so many other obstacles and things around us worried about self that we disconnect from others. That we disconnect that cord that binds us. We pull it out. And then we wonder why we're not getting charged up no more. We wonder why life is what it is. We disconnected. Reconnect. Because everything is part of the same ecosystem. The tree, the sun, the leaves, the grass, everything, the human beings, the water, everything is part of the cycle. Reconnect. Step out into nature and reattune yourself with the trees, with life, with old life. These trees have been alive for 300 years. 200 years, these trees have been alive. You don't think there's energy, meridians of energy flowing through these trees and through the ground that they have been permeating for 300 years? The sun has been blazing. It's never gone down. It's never fizzed out. Never, not once. It's full of abundance. It replenishes itself because we need it. It almost like it knows we need it, because it knows that if it drifted off by a certain amount of degrees, the planet would no longer exist. We would die. So it's in tune with us because we venerate it. We venerate it for years, for thousands of years. People have looked up at the sun and said, God, thank you. So family, I thank you guys again for stepping in, listening to me, being a part of this journey, letting me heal along with you. I really honestly thank you. I honor you. And thank you for tapping into Sins of the Father. I'm your host, Ani I Am. I ask that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I ask you more than anything, though, to share the channel with someone else. Share the channel if the message means anything, if there's any truth to it, any value to it that you think somebody else would get. Share it with someone else, please. Again, I appreciate you. Love, honor, respect, courage, wisdom, health, good character. These are the words I want to leave you with as you search out in search of your own healing. Remember those words. Love, power, and respect. Again, this is Sins of the Father, and I'm your host, Ani I Am, tapping out. Love. Peace.